Hey boozers, how are you guys doing? All right, I went out today and I'm getting this review up and I'm going to be posting it today, and it's going to be live because this is a special edition, because this is something that a lot of people have been talking about and I really been humming and hawing over, but I decided why the hell not. It seems like something's going to be fancy, something's going to be different, and something that's going to be 100 years old? No, we're looking at almost 200, 180, 160 years old, 160. I can't math right now. I'm not mathing. There's no math. Math is dumb. Okay, math's not dumb. Everyone needs to do math. So, this was brought out first in 1840 of reports of this in Syracuse, New York. It's believed to be franchised and sold in the 19th century in the United States and Canada. The long lost compound Sarsaparilla beers was rediscovered in June 2020. And after this thing heightened interest and trended on Twitter, a Calgary-based brewery has announced plans to begin distributing a version of Cronk, which is this stuff right here. Yep, in my hands here, I've got Cronk. Dr. Cronk's sarsaparilla beer is 1 pound of sassafras plus 2 pounds of sarsaparilla, 2 pounds of hops, 1 pound of chamomile blows, 1 pound of cinnamon, 5 pounds of ginger, 1 pint of extract of sarsaparilla. Boil them all together for 2 hours. Have ready steeped half a pound of green tea, which add, then strain into a vat or a tub, and then add up to 10 gallons of molasses and 100 gallons of water. Stir in thoroughly 1 quart of yeast and scent to suit your taste. Let stand until fermented, then bottle for use. And this is an excerpt from the original recipe. So we have at 4% alcohol by volume, Cronk, and Cronk is good. Compound sarsaparilla alcoholic beverage is what they're calling it. It's classed as a small beer, did they say? Yes. It makes a small beer because there's alcohol involved in it. So, I say we get this open and let's see what this is all about. Now, from something in 1840, you know it's not going to taste that good. You know there's going to be issues with it. You know it's probably going to be something that you look at and go, what the hell are they thinking here? And already the smell is molasses. I'm just getting straight up molasses right now. So yeah, we have a very murky looking small beer. The head's dissipated off of it quite quickly. And this came in at $8 and what was it? $8.50 some odd cents. I think it was $8.55 or something. Or it was a weird number. I think $8.83. That's what it was. And so yeah. So the head's dissipated off of it. The carbonation seems to be going. There's not a lot to it. There's a little bit of carbonation. I'm not liking the looks of it already. So the smell. Oh, that smells gross. Oh boy. It's not a nice smell. The molasses are coming through quite a lot in this. You do have a little bit of a ginger coming off there. You do have a little sort of sweetness. And sarsaparilla, kind of. But the molasses took over. Wow. Now, from someone who's grown up having molasses in his life before, I know how bad molasses can be. This is a different type of molasses. They had one batch and they had to trash it because they used the wrong type of molasses. So they'd use a sweeter molasses versus what they had. But yeah, that's definitely going to be an interesting taste. Well, let's take us back to 1840 and see exactly what we have. Cheers, everybody. And Cold Garden, thank you for bringing this out, I think. I haven't had it yet, so thank you so far. Cheers. Huh. That's way different than I thought it would be. I'm not offended by it, but it's not a flavor I have ever had before. So you get the molasses a little bit in the beginning. You get a touch of the ginger. And then you get this sort of interesting sweetness as well. Almost like a cherry almond sweetness, which is weird. Yeah, if this is what root beer is supposed to taste like back in the day, that's changed a lot. That definitely has changed a lot. It's not overly heavy. It's not overly carbonated, so it's not that bad overall. It's a very unique flavor. I can't really explain it. It's like muddy swamp water. The sarsaparilla does come out in it. The molasses, the ginger kind of comes out in it, and then that sweetness takes over in the end. This is going to be something that a lot of people will probably not like. For me, I don't mind this. I actually like this. This is actually quite nice. I really don't mind this at all. It's a different drink. It doesn't feel sweet. Doesn't feel sickly sweet. Doesn't feel overcarbonated. Doesn't feel... Yeah, it's just... That's wild. That's definitely wild. I honestly can see a few more people trying to make this, to recreate it, and putting their own spin on it. It's really good. It's really interesting. Yeah, Dr. Cronk sarsaparilla beer. Like this. Yeah. So what else do we have here? Warren Cronk of New York City, but based in Albany and Auburn, New York, in the 1940s, is attributed to having invented this beverage. The compound sarsaparilla beer was considered a temperance drink, but not clear whether the drink was sold with or without alcohol and alcohol content. As a flavored beer, like the root beer and sarsaparilla of the time, it still needed to be brewed. Due to this finished product, it may have been alcoholic if not diluted. This was not diluted out. A bit with relatively low alcohol content for the time, which also made it a small beer. I'm prepared to say that no medicine compound within my knowledge, not to say beer, contains more valuable ingredients. Their nature is such as to come truly within term remedies. Sorry. Warren Cronk, Syracuse City, June 6, 1846. Cronk was advertised as having medicinal properties as sarsaparilla one of its ingredients, and believed at the time to be medicinal. This beer rose to become a cultural phenomenon and a status symbol for the affluent public. And we continue on if you want. Why not? The rights to produce, bottle, and sell his beer in certain territories was sold by Warren Cronk to various bottling partners. Cronk was distributed through a franchise bottling system, which meant it was sold throughout wide areas in the northeastern United States and Canada. On the influence of Cronk, Thomas Killarney wrote in December 2010 newsletter that the Federation of Historical Bottle Collectors, I don't know if it will ever be possible to trace all the cities and the influence that Warren Cronk has had with his compound sarsaparilla beer. Decline. Cronk's presumed to have declined in one of its various depressions that hit North America in the 19th century, as with most other companies in the soda business at the time. Another theory is that franchise system may have resulted in its end and lost popularity over time. References to Cronk have not been found later than the 1910s and 20s. Until now, 100 years later. A recipe for Cronk in 1860 was uncovered in the Handbook of Practical Recipes or Useful Hints in Everyday Life by a commentator in the aforementioned Twitter thread, which listed sarsaparilla, hops, chamomile, cinnamon, ginger, and green tea and molasses as ingredients. I'm not really getting a green tea overall, but everything else, wow. Other documents refer to whatever, yeah, we'll continue on. Yeah, it was rediscovered in June 2020 when newspaper advertisements for the beverage from the 1880s were shared on Twitter by Paul Ferry? Sorry. As a researcher of the University at the University of Calgary. The bizarre adverts attracted interest and came to trend on Twitter in Canada. Hence why we have this today. The Cold Garden Beverage Company, these folks that did this right here, a microbrewery in Calgary, Canada, has said it has a batch of the beverage in production based on the rediscovered recipes. As of July 3rd, 2020, the company said it expected to distribute beverage in 2 weeks. And they even stated on their site that they had to throw away the first batch because they made it with the wrong molasses. So they had to redo it. On August 19th, 2020, the company released an initial batch of 1,800 bottles of Cronk. This is one of 1,800 bottles. So yeah, I've got one. Actually, I've got 4. Oh, that just looks so muddy. According to brewer Blake Belding, the described Cronk recipe will taste like a spicy root beer. Again, if this is what root beers taste like in the 1800s, then I can see that. It is interesting. It is different. It is wild. And I'm sure we'll find some bottles on eBay for $35 a pop because it is the latest craze. Is it something you'd want? To say you had it? Yes. Would you want it again? I've got 3 more bottles of this. I can't guarantee that I would want more. However, I just may. We'll see what happens. So, locally, this has been produced. So I want to hear, have you had this before? What do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? It is an acquired taste. It is different, but it's actually not that bad. I am not overly offended by it. The muddy water look is, yeah, that's a little different. The sad part about this is I have to open up another bottle to take a picture of what it looks like. Or I just go like this. One of the two. It is not a bad small beer. It is not a bad alcoholic drink. It is not a bad thing overall. It's something that I'm glad that I got, and I'm glad that some of the guys that I know said, hey, you should go pick it up. I don't understand why you're not doing that. And I've been rambling for 15 minutes, so we're gonna end it here. So folks, till next time, I am PK saying cheers, stay frosty. We'll see you real soon. Thanks again for joining, and let me know what you thought of this review and all the other ones by liking, commenting, subscribing. And again, once again, folks, please be safe, be good, and Cronk is good? Sure, whatever. It might be decent. Thanks again. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Cheers.